everyone, I'm Ruchi Jain. Today I'm going to discuss with you file system implementation. Here is the outline for this video, which are as follows. Here in today's video, we will discuss about file system structure, file system implementation, directory implementation, allocation method, free space management, efficiency and performance, and their recovery. Firstly, we will discuss about what is file structure, file system structure. File system structure is basically a logical storage unit which store data or information related to each other in a single file. File system provide efficient and convenient access to the disk by allowing data to be stored, located, and retrieval easily by mapping the data in some logical to physical manner. The file system, the disk provided in place read, rewrite, and random access on the file system structure. In file system structure, there is file control block, which is used to store structure, consists of information about the block, which is also act as metadata about the data. There is also device driver, which control the physical devices which are attached to your system. File system structure is basically organized in various layers, which are as follows. Here, this is a layered architecture, layered system of the file system. In this layered structure, at the top layer, there is application program. This application program is accessed by the user, or you can say that user access the system or doing some work by using this application program. This application program get connected to the internal devices or other devices using or internal disk of file system by using some logical file system. But by logical file system, we mean that data is stored in the file system in some logical manner. These logical file system combine to form a file organization module. In file organization module, all the files which are logically connected with each other are organized in some manner, which we will discuss later on. These file organization modules are form basic file system. Basic file system is a system of various systems. These file systems are accessed or controlled by the various input-output devices. These various input-output devices can be a mouse, keyboard, or screen, laptop screen, from where you can get the visibility that what you are accessing and what are not. And these input-output controls are connected with the devices, as I already discussed with you. Moving forward, here is file system layers. In our file system, there are various layers, or you can say that file system is organized in various layers. First layer is a device driver. Device drivers means, as we all know, that for driving any or for executing any application or any device, we need device driver. In device driver, there are the programs written to make that particular device to be in executable manner. So device drivers basically device drivers manages input output devices at the input output control layer. For example, given command like read drive 1. So read drive 1, cylinder 72, track 2, sector 10 in the memory location 160. So our control is moved to the drive 1 from drive 1, like this is a drive. From this drive there is a various cylinders, and from the cylinders there is various sectors like this. So here we have to move to the device driver 1. From device driver 1, we have to access cylinder number 72, and from cylinder number 72 we have to track the track number 2, and from the track number 2 we go to the sector 10, and at the sector 10 we have to access memory location 1060. Next, moving forward is basic file system. Basic file system gives command like retrieve block 1123, means translate to the device driver. It also manages memory buffer and caches like allocation, replacement, freeing of various memory cells. Free memory cells goes to the goes to, if there is a linked list, then all the free spaces goes to the linked list which are attached with the all the free cells. All this done is by the basic file system. File organization module. File organization module understand file, logical address, and physical blocks of the particular file system. Next is logical file system. Logical file system manages metadata information. As I already discussed with you, logical file system manages metadata information that are stored in the file system. It translates file name into the file number, file handle, and location by maintaining the file control block. It also maintain the directory management. Directory management. Directory management means there is directory form for the particular files for the particular file system. In one directory, it tells you about the what type of files are there and where they reside in the disk. And protection. Logical file system also manage the file system protection so that no intruder can access that particular file. Only authorized users are able to access that particular file. Layering useful for reducing complexity and redundancy, but add overhead and can decrease performance. Because if there is if we do not maintain the layer in our disk, then access of that particular data become very tedious. So we maintain the layer of the data, that layer of the memory cells that are stored in the disk, so that complexity to access that data can get reduced, but overhead increases. It also logical address also translate name into the file name into the file number, file handle, and location by maintaining file control block. Layering include logical address can be implemented by any coding method according to the operating system designer. For file system, moving forward, there is file system implementation. For implementing the file system, we have to use system calls. System calls are the calls that are generated by the user for accessing any particular device or any particular application. It is done at the API layer, yani application interface level. But how do we implement their function? These functions are implemented on the disk or in the memory structure by using two methods. First is boot control block. This boot control block contain information needed to the system to boot operating system from that volume. It also needed if the volume contain operating system, usually first block of the volume. Means ki for file system implementation, we have to firstly boot the operating system, and operating system is always resides on the initial block of the memory If operating system is not residing in the initial block of memory, or it is resides in the internal if in any internal disk of the internal sector of the disk, then there is time taken by the system to get that operating system and then load that operating system, so that we further for further processing of the system. So to decrease all these redundancies and all these complexities, we make operating system to be reside on the initial or first block of the volume. Second is volume control block or super block or master file table, which contain volume table. For example, total of blocks, free blocks, block size, free block pointer or array, and etc. There is directory structure which are organized the file. In directory structure, all the files are organized in the form of name and inode number and in the master file table. Here is also file control block per file, which contain many detail about the file like inode number, permission, size, date at which it is executed, or at what time, at what date it is last executed. All these parameters or logs are stored in pre-left file control block. There is a structure like file permission, file date, file owner, file size, file data pointer to the file data block. This is how per file control block data is stored in the file system implementation. Next is directory implementation. Directory implementation is done by using linear list. In the linear list, we maintain a directory like this. Here it is one directory. It is linked with another directory. This link again the another directory. And as you know, they are linked with the linear list, which means that address of this particular directory is saved at this directory, and address of this directory is saved with this directory. With but this structure is very time consuming to execute, as linear search time is very high. So we have to make the linear list of the directory should be implemented in alphabetical order via linked list or via B plus tree. Second directory implementation is using hash table. In hash table, we maintain a file like a index, and that particular index value gives the memory address of the file where exact the file gets stored. In the hash table, sometimes collisions are occur, and there are various measures to resolve these collisions in the data structure. Here we are moving forward to the various allocation method. First is contiguous. Contiguous memory allocation is the linear memory allocation. For example, as you are seeing in this structure, there is a file which is starting and length. First file is at 0 and its length is 0. Its length is 2. So here the file is started from 0 and ends at 1. Here you can see that there is another file named mail. Mail is starting from 19 and its length is 6. So from 19 we have seen 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. These 6 continuous memory cells are allocated to the file name mail. So in contiguous memory allocation, all the files are allocated in a linear continuous manner. These are best performed in most of the cases. These are very simple, and there are some problems like these problems include finding file space for file, knowing files size, external fragmentation, and etc. By external fragmentation, we means that as you are seeing that there are memory cells like 2 and 3 which are free, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after that there is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You are saying that 4, 5 and 9 memory cells are free if there is a file name as X which is starting from, we don't know where to start that particular file, but count of that file is 9. We have to search the continuous memory cells which is of length 9, but there are free spaces but they are not continuous. This is called external fragmentation. So contiguous memory allocation is suffer from external fragmentation. Next is linked. Linked allocation means like a linked list. All the memory cells which are allocated to a particular file are linked with using a pointer. For example, the file name Jeep, it is started at the pointer 9 and it is of length and it is at 25. So we are moving forward that from 9 there is an address of at 9 there is an address of 16. So when we move to 16, from 16 having the address of 1, then we move to 1. At 1, we have the address of 2, then move to 2. At 2, there is the address of 25, then we move to 25. And after reaching to the 25, we find that address at 25th node is null, which means that this particular file ends here. So the file ends at the null pointer. There is no external fragmentation, as we can get any memory cell which can be at any side or any part. We have to just point to that particular address by particular memory by linking to its particular address. Each block contains pointer to the next block, as I already told you. No compaction, no external fragmentation. Free space management system called when new block is needed. Efficiency is improved. Reliability can be a problem, but locating a disk can take many input, output, and disk seats. Here, next is very effective indexed allocation. In the indexed allocation, we maintain an index of each and every file like a directory. From the directory, like there is a file named Jeep, which is index value is 19. So from 19 we get the values, like from 19 we get the 19 say 1, 19 to 10, 19 to 9, 19 to 16, 19 to 25. Here we can see, here you are seeing that in the index value, in the index you can get that at the point value of 19 there are various file like 9, 16, 1, 10, 25. So if maybe you want to access the file number 16, then you have to access this via 19. You move to the 19, and from 19 you move to the 16. This is how index allocation works. Free space management can be done by using this method. Like if all the block values in all the blocks bit vector free space management is done by free space list. In the free space list, all the memory cells are represented by a vector, and the value in the vector are represented as 1 or 0. If it is available or if it is free, then value of particular value in the block is 1. If it is occupied or not available, then value is 0. So for example, if there is a vector if there is a vector like this, uh, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we write the values as 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. So which means that only memory cell 1 and 2 is available, and all these four memory cells are unavailable. In linked list, free space management is done like there is a list maintained which is named as free list. There is a list which is called as free list. This list linked to the various memory cells which are empty, like this. If this is empty, then again another node come which is also get freed, then it is linked to that this particular list. Again if one more node is come which get free, then it is also linked. If there is no other node comes, then it is got to null. This is how free list is managed in the linked list management. Free space management can be done by using grouping. Grouping means modifying the linked list to store address of next n-1 free list in the first free block, by which you can know how many free cells are available in particular list. Like this one here, if we write 5, value of 5, which means that with this particular list there are five memory cells which are free. So if one request is come that anyone wants 5 memory free cells, then this particular linked list is sent to that particular command, that you can use these 5 memory cells. Counting means space is frequently contiguous, used, and free. So with contiguous allocation or clustering, in counting, we keep track of first free cell and count the following free cells. Free space list then has entry contain addresses and number of and the count that how many free spaces are available in a particular block. Efficiency of disk management or file management is depend on the disk allocation in directory algorithm, type of data kept in the file and file directory entry, pre-allocation or as needed allocation of metadata structure, fixed or varying size of data structures. Performance of file system can be done by keeping the data and metadata very close to each other, so that accessing of both the data can be efficient. Buffer cache is used to separate section of main memory for frequent use blocks. Synchronization writes something requested by the apps or needed by the operating system. No buffering or caching, which means writes must hit disk before acknowledgement. Asynchronous write are more common or bufferable and faster. There is free behind and read ahead techniques which are used to optimize the sequential file access method. They read frequent slower than the writing. There are various recovery methods for the file system. First is consistent checking, that we have to consistent check whether our data are perfect or not. If there is any error occur, then we have to fix the inconsistent data. It can be slow, but sometimes fail because it is somehow is a manual done. We use backups also, that we have to make our system backup time to time, so that if there is a error or failure occur, then we can restore our data by using the backup files. Recovered lost file or disk can be restored from the backup file. So it is needed for the R that we have to do backup of our system time to time. Log structure file system. Log structure file system record each metadata updated to the file system as a transaction. So that transaction is needed because so that we can get the all the information about the data that at what time the particular file system or particular file is accessed at what time, at what user. All the personal information related to particular file is stored in a particular transaction. So it is required to access the file system in the form of transaction. All transactions are written to the file. If particular transaction is completed, then it is called committed. If it is in between, or you can say that if we have to write x equals to 10, but this command is not executed in consistently, then this transaction is not committed. We have to write the data in the database only for the committed transactions only. The transaction in the log are asynchronously written to the file system structure. These file system structure are modified when the transaction is removed from the log. If the file system crashes, all the remaining transaction in the log must still be performed. Faster recovery from the crash removes chances of inconsistency of the metadata. Here are the various textbooks from where you can get the information about the data that I have shared with you. This is disclaimer. Thank you.